be discussing my opinion on what would happen if Magic Johnson didn't get HIV. I'm pretty new here, so if you could please tell tell me what I'm doing wrong, or tell me what I'm doing right for that matter. And if you like what you see, then subscribe. If I can get these out monthly, then I'm doing something right. Let's get on with it. Magic Johnson was the best player of the 1980s, with his 5 rings, 3 MVPs, and 3 Finals MVPs between 1980 and 1990. He is and will always be considered one of the most prolific players of his era. His Showtime Lakers are considered one of the greatest teams ever. Then, Magic was tragically diagnosed with HIV, killing his basketball career for 4 years throughout the 1990s. More specifically, 1991 to 1995. Magic made a short, unproductive return to the league in 1996, but what if he was never diagnosed with the virus? In the 1991 NBA season, the Lakers were injury-riddled. Originally led by James Worthy, they finished at a 43-39 record. Enter a healthy Magic Johnson to take pressure off of Sedale Threat. Although Threat was somewhat productive, he's going to have to ride the bench. Johnson had a semi-productive, at least compared to his other seasons, stat line, with a huge 19 points, 11.5 assists, and 6.5 boards. Through Johnson's top-notch facilitation, he leads them to a 55-27 record and the 3rd seed. Jordan still gets the MVP, and Magic gets second in the voting. As you can see on your screen, the Lakers win 12 more games, and everybody in the West loses 1 more because of Magic Johnson's impact. This is a staple of my what-ifs, I guess, this standing section, so yeah. In the playoffs, they square up against the 6-seeded Spurs. I'm going to use whatifsports.com. If you don't know what that is, that's a website where you can match up 2 teams of any era that are, like, you know, and you can add players to them. So how I'm adding Magic Johnson into this scenario is I'm putting the 1990 version of him onto that team so he can actually exist. I'm just going to tell you that in advance so you don't think I'm just making everything up out of nowhere. The dispatch of the Spurs in a hard-fought 5, with a Game 3 ending via a clutch Magic Johnson reverse layup to seal the deal, and Game 5 ending with a last-second turnaround to win by 2 from James Worthy. They then square up against the 2nd-seeded Jazz. These Lakers pull out through the Jazz in 7 games. All of them were blowouts, though, and everybody defends their home court. So yeah, the Blazers are the final challenge for upstart Lakers. Both teams went 1-1 in blowouts on their home floors. Game 5, conversely, is an enigma. Terry Porter hits a J to put the Blazers up 2, but Worthy hits a 3 as time expires. The Lakers defend their home floor to take the series in 6. The Bulls win a game on their home floor, and the Lakers steal one, but they choke both on their home court, The Lakers take Game 5, but lose Game 6. The Bulls win in 6, and Jordan wins the Finals MVP. In the offseason, the Lakers were already a playoff team, so they don't affect the lottery at all. They fall to the 22nd pick, and every playoff team that is worse than them bumps up a slot. With this pick, they take John Barry, a no-name I'd never heard of. Because the Lakers are unable to take their original pick, Latrell Sprewell falls to the Washington Washington Bullets. No free agency signing exchange at all, so let's get into the 1992-1993 season. The Lakers originally finished with the 8th seed and a 39-43 record. Magic's slight decline, which still leaves him with a 19 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebound stat line, gives them a 54-28 record and the 3rd seed. The Warriors, with the loss of Sprewell, lose 6 more games. The Bullets tack 5 more on the wins column. As you can see, the Lakers move up a couple more games, the Warriors move down 6, and the Bullets move up 5. Remember this, because it gets important when the lottery comes. Anyways, in the first round, the Lakers beat the Spurs again. The Lakers take the first 3 games by margins of 25, 24, and 12. Then the Spurs get the next 2 by 20 and 10, and the Lake Show take Game 6. Against the Rockets, both teams win by large margins, but LA takes the cake big in Game 7 by 18. The Suns beat the Lakers 4-1, blowouts every game. Magic averaged like 24, 12, and 9 though. The finals remain the same. A 4-2 win for the Bulls over the Suns. Jordan remains the Finals MVP. As you've all been awaiting, the 1992-1993 offseason. I know that I mentioned this before, but some call the 1993 lottery the craziest in NBA history, and this scenario changes the result drastically. So there's going to be an infographic popping up on the screen right about now. So as you can see in this infographic, I mean, the Magic maintained the number 1 pick, but the Bullets get the second and the Bucks get the third. Originally, as you can see, yeah, it changes. I don't have the infographic with me on my computer, so that would be why I can't see it. The Magic are still pushed to take Webber by their front office, although the draft order is switched and are unable to trade him. This makes an awesome front court of C-Web and Shaq, which is going to be tough to stop, but it may not match the production of Penny Hardaway. The second pick goes to Washington, and they don't really have any glaring positional needs, and their center and point guard position have good pieces, so they go ahead and take Isaiah Ryder. The third pick is Milwaukee's, and they have a very old Frank Burkowski, so they take the obvious pick in Shaw Bradley. The fourth pick belongs to Dallas, and they keep Jamal Mashburn. Pretty simple, same reasoning. The fifth pick is the Timberwolves, and they take Penny Hardaway because he's one of the last true great prospects left. Other notable selections, Vin Baker, if you've ever heard of him, he was a pretty good player way back when, is selected by the Warriors with the 8th pick. Baker is hardly consolation for Webber's loss, however. Instead of Nick Van Exel going to the Lakers, he rides the bus across town, I guess, and goes right to the Clippers. In the 1993-94 NBA season, we all know this is the season where Jordan takes his hiatus to play baseball, and this leaves a title hunt open for multiple teams, including the Lakers. The Lakers, with Magic, performed at a level 14 games above their original, at 47-35. This earns them the 6th seed. The Magic lose 2 more without Penny, as Scott Skiles can't match his production. The Warriors lose 3 more, as Vin Baker, as great as he is not as great as Webber. Washington wins 9 more with Latrell and Ryder, giving them a solid 33-win year. The Clippers gain 2 more wins with Nick Van Exel. The Timberwolves' acquisition of Penny Hardaway pays in wins, as they gain 8. So, yeah, basically all the major things I explained here. As you can see, if you want to pause on your favorite team, then just stop on the graphic. As you can see, Magic's lack of diagnosis benefits more teams massively than it hurts. In the playoffs, Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson's Suns go up against Magic Johnson's Lakers. The Magic still lose excuse me. They lose in 5. The Magic, without Penny, lose in 5 this time to the Pacers, as they don't have a guy to guard Reggie Miller, really. The Rockets still win the title. So, the Sixers get the first pick in the draft lottery with the 4th odds, which is great for them. Good for you, Philadelphia. And then Dallas keeps this second pick even though they have the first odds, and then just everybody moves down a slot. The draft, at least the sweepstakes for the first pick, changes drastically, as you can see, as the Bucks lose it and the Sixers make out like bandits with the first choice. With the first pick selection, the Sixers, who originally took Sharon Wright, not sure who that is, take Juwan Howard. This makes sense because Juwan plays power forward and Sharon plays power forward as well. With the second pick, Dallas still selects Jason Kidd. You know, they're staying the same. Good for them, staying consistent, makes it easier on me. With the third pick, the Pistons select Glenn Robinson. Instead of picking Grant Hill, they take Robinson. Don't know if I can get behind it. With the fourth pick, the Bucks take Grant Hill. I'm so silly. Wow, without even getting the first pick, they win. Good for the Bucks. With the fifth pick, the Kings select Sharon Wright. Great job, Sacramento? No, you didn't do a great job. Bad job, Sacramento. With the 12th pick, the Miami Heat select Eddie Jones. I'm skipping here because nothing else after that was notable. But the Lakers lose out on a second star and staples of the 2000s era in LA. So, magically, shockingly announced, in the 1994-1995 NBA season, Magic shockingly announces his retirement to the world. He's going to retire in the 96 season so he can save his body for commentating. But this season is still productive for him, with averages of 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, piloting the Lakers 3 games worse than that of what they had, 45 and 37, due to the losses of Jones and Nick Van Exel. The Timberwolves improved by 12 games with Penny's massive improvement, but the Warriors regressed 2 games without Webber and with Baker. The Magic lose 6 more without Penny and Weber. The Bullets win 6 more with their new core. The Clips take 2 more in the W column with the addition of Nick Van Exel. The 76ers chalk up 3 more wins with Howard. The Heat gain 3 with the acquisition of Eddie Jones. The Bucks win 3 more with Hill, and the Pistons lose 3 more without him. Again, infographic, it's great. Good job. You're looking at it. So some things really changed here, so let's address the more important series. The Lakers lose to the Jazz in 5 pretty handily. The Sonics and Rockets extends to 7 games, wherein the Supersonics defeat the defending champs. The Magic defeat the Cavs, paving the way for victory against the Pacers. The stages are set in the conference finals. Bulls versus Magic. You know, the Magic don't really have a guy to call on to stop MJ, because as you can remember, Michael Jordan came back in this playoffs originally in the divisional round because, you know, they needed him, and he was done playing baseball. So, and the Sonics versus the Jazz ends up in the Jazz's stars in the same 2 positions, I don't even know, as Seattle's overcome their pressure and win the 6. The finals. Another Bulls-Jazz matchup yields the same old result. Jordan just killing the Jazz and winning in 6 games comfortably. Jordan dons the 45 jersey for the entire playoffs, as nothing made him lose it. He returns to 23 in the next regular season, however. Off-season. So in the draft lottery, the 76ers have the 5th odds and get the first pick. The Clippers have the 2nd pick because they had the first odds, and the Bullets had the 4th odds and they got the 3rd pick. Everybody else slides down a spot aside from picks 8 through 13 because of the 2 expansion teams this season, the Grizzlies and Raptors. They slide out down 3 spots. The Sixers get the first pick and still select Jerry Stackhouse. The Clippers still trade McDyess to Denver. The Bullets originally took Rasheed Wallace, that is. But they see Mr. Mediocrity, Joe Smith, there, and take him. The Warriors took a power forward originally, and they still do. But this time, they pair Vin Baker with Rasheed Wallace, making a menacing duo to rival Shaq and Weber. The Pistons originally traded their pick, and they still do, to Portland, and they take Damon Stoudemire. Vancouver originally picked a center, Bryant Reeves, but instead there's a promising young buck out there named Kevin Garnett, who's a power forward / center, and they decide to take the risk on him. Other notable selections, the Lakers at number 18 get to keep Michael Finley, because they never make the trade with Phoenix and never get Eddie Jones, so that's some consolation. Here are some of my outtakes from this scenario. Magic Johnson, as much as I hate to say this, does not improve his legacy without HIV. As sad and unfortunate as that is, his just more seasons don't really positively impact the Lakers because of the losses of Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. I think the Lakers still would have gotten Kobe because they retained the same core aside from Van Exel and Jones. Jordan wins another title, furthering his legacy as the greatest of all time. Yeah, the Magic get a whole lot worse in the 96 season because they don't have All-NBA first team and MVP candidate Penny Hardaway. Yeah, so that's it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe because it's an obligatory thing to say on YouTube, and I'm out.